Playoffs? Well, guys, we can officially start talking about the playoffs as the Birds clinched a spot in the playoffs tonight. Chatham lost. The Birds beat the Brewster Whitecaps 5-4, and the offense really got things going. And early, for the first time in a while, Riley Adams with that RBI single. How do you guys like the way that the Birds' bats came along tonight?
Everything's just coming together at the right time. Everybody's getting hot right before the playoffs. But one thing I saw tonight, Will Golston came off the bench cold and singled, and then Garrett Bench singled right after him. So the two third basemen, they're really coming alive. And it's great to see just because Garrett Bench got here the latest out of anybody. He had to make their transition from metal bats to wood bats the latest out of anybody. And obviously it takes a while for every player, and then Will Golston is just on fire. So it's for Kelly Nicholson, it's a good problem to have because he could go to the playoffs and he's like, well, I'm going to start my superstar third baseman Golston or my other superstar third baseman Bench. So great problem to have going into the playoffs, and everybody just is looking confident right now. Everybody's feeling confident, and just the vibe in this ballpark right now is just so much fun.
Yeah, great problem to have here, and the Birds really getting heating up at the right time now, Logan. Let's keep talking about this offense. Riley Adams, Brian Miller on really long hitting streaks. Riley 11 games and Brian 19 games. What's allowed them to be so successful?
First of all, think about how long the season is. It's 44 games. Riley Adams, the 11-game hitting streak. Brian Miller extends his to 19. But these guys have their swings haven't changed. They've maintained that consistency in the box. They're short to the ball, and they generate enough power. But they've worked extensively with hitting coach Benny Craig. And Brian Miller and Riley Adams are two guys that are going to have very successful careers going forward. Riley Adams has already been drafted in the MLB. Those two guys will play professional ball, but they're really making a name for themselves right now, and it's so important for the Firebirds because when you have your leadoff hitter with a 19-game hitting streak and your cleanup hitter with an 11-game hitting streak, that means things are going well offensively. But for the Firebirds tonight, I was so impressed by their pitching staff, especially the bullpen. That's what enabled them to lock down this victory and clinch a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about pitching. We saw Brandon Bielak close it down tonight, and he was getting in the upper 90s on the radar gun. Something very impressive. We haven't seen that out of many pitchers here in the Cape League. What makes Brandon Bielak such a good closer?
Well, Brandon Bielak just has such a variety of pitches. He's got the four-seam fastball where he can really just pump the zone with a really strong fastball that doesn't move. And then he could also throw a two-seamer, get a little bit more movement on it, and then the big curveball where he takes and just great snap throw and able to drop it into a zone where hitters can be fooled by it and can also swing and miss. We saw so many swing and misses on the curveball tonight. He was not hanging it in the zone, and if a guy wasn't swinging at a curveball, he just pumped a fastball in there on a high or low fastball. His location is what really differs him, I think, in Brandon Bielak, because he can throw every pitch for strikes in different places in the zone, and that's what major league pitchers do.
Talking about strikeouts, Will Stokes, another guy who had an outstanding performance tonight, and he had 5 strikeouts tonight. What's allowed Will to settle down so much here?
Well, Will's been working more with Jamie Quinn, but he was our player of the game from tonight, and I know you interviewed him as well. He had the best outing we have seen from him. The first time he came on, he gave up a double. It wasn't his responsibility, the runner that came across the score, but 5 of the 6 outs that were recorded were strikeouts. Not only was he bringing the heat at 94 miles an hour, his slider, his secondary pitch, which he needs to be effective in order to pitch well, was excellent tonight. The command was great. The bite was great. He was fooling Brewster hitters left and right, because when you're mixing that fastball in there with tailing movement and a slider that nasty, it's kind of a helpless feeling up at the plate for a hitter.
Yeah, it's great to see these guys really coming together in the latter half of the season. Pitchers finally getting these lessons down that Jamie Quinn and Kelly Nicholson have preached. Hitters listening to Benny Craig, getting that slow, easy swing down, not rushing it, and it's really coming together. And we saw 5 runs put up tonight, so it's great to see. And guys, we'll be back again tomorrow
From Wareham.
And yeah, just 3 games left in the regular season. Wareham tomorrow, home and home with Chatham, and then the moment we've all been waiting for, postseason starts Friday, and the Firebirds will start that off either at YD or at Harwich.